The Elasticity of Demand and the Factors That Affect It by Dania Holmlund. First off, what is the elasticity of demand? Elasticity of demand is a measure of how sensitive consumers are to price changes for goods and services. In this presentation, I'm going to focus on two types of elasticity: inelastic demand and elastic demand. Consumers continue to buy a product even when there is a price change and quantity demanded stays relatively the same. There is inelastic demand for this product. However, when a price change for a product results in a rise or fall in quantity demanded by consumers, the demand for a product is elastic. Different factors will affect how elastic the demand for a good or service is. Factors such as the availability of substitutes, necessity of the item, the definition of the market, the time horizon, and the share of income spent on the good all determine the elasticity of demand for a product. A product with high elasticity of demand is most likely not a necessity and has many suitable substitutes that a consumer can buy instead, like fast food brands, whereas necessities with a limited number of substitutes like water will have inelastic demand. A product with a narrow market like Coca-Cola will have a higher elasticity of demand. However, the demand for a product in a broad market like pop drinks will be less elastic. The demand for a product becomes increasingly elastic over longer periods of time as consumers are able to find alternatives for a good or service. A product's elasticity is also affected by the income of the consumer. When a product costs a higher percent of a person's income, the more elastic the demand is. These factors all have an effect on the elasticity of demand and the relationship between price and quantity demanded for a product. Designer bags, such as Chanel shoulder bags, will have a highly elastic demand. Although a designer bag is not a necessity, these bags have a high demand for many different types of consumers, both high and low income. So a lower priced bag will attract a greater variety of consumers, whereas a rise in price will limit the consumers able to purchase the good. These designer bags can be extremely expensive, and due to a shift in price, quantity demanded can rise or drop sharply. A Chanel shoulder bag is a want, not a need, and there are many other brands with similar bags. Chanel also offers a variety of different bags themselves. The demand for a Chanel shoulder bag is highly elastic, and quantity demanded can shift at any price. The elasticity of demand for a product is influenced by many different factors. When there is a changing price for a good or service, consumers will react in different ways depending on the product. Sellers must determine the type of elasticity of demand that their product falls into in order to attract buyers and sell their goods and services in a competitive market. Thank you.